Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. I want to talk about the Dave Chappelle special. Now, I'm not exactly striking while the iron's hot on this. Excuse me, itchy. Whenever I do that, I make a Coke joke, so I don't know what other joke to make. I'll spare you guys 'cause I know I've said it a bunch of times. I've never done Coke, by the way. Maybe I know a lot of times comedy and Coke go hand in hand. I don't like being around it, man. It's too expensive. People get weird before they snort it because it's so expensive. Don't spill my Coke, man. Well, just snort it and do whatever it is you do when you're on it. Just don't bother me. Anyway, I'm like I said, late on this being a hot take, but I got to finally watch the Dave Chappelle special. It's called The Closer. It's on Netflix, and I know Logan has an issue with it. A lot of transgender and gay people have an issue with it because he does go hard on them, but he also, I think, shows a lot of empathy and also shows that um, he I think he makes some good points about everything in that world. It starts the show hot, by the way. I thought the first 15 minutes is killer, but he is a very politically incorrect comic. He when you can get away with that if you aim it at everybody, including yourself. He says nigger a lot. A lot of people don't like that, but it's not so much as a slur. Of course, when you're black, it looks less like a slur anyway. But he uses it basically as a word like brother or person, because he says it to everybody, because he's calling white guys nigger in it. So, a little weird, but I'm used to that from Dave Chappelle. That's what he does. But the man is a brilliant comic. At one point, he calls himself. He says, many would consider me the GOAT, which is, of course, is an acronym for greatest of all time. I think he's legitimately got a fair statement there. He's not, in my opinion, but he's got to be a top 10 comic just based on what he's done, whether you like him or not. But on this particular special, I thought it was really good. He just he goes after everybody. He goes after. I mean, I don't even know if he necessarily goes after people. I guess he does a little bit, but I think he just makes jokes about everybody, and I think some people consider that going after. I think he's also he's around my age. I think he's a couple years younger. He's right, but he's right around my age, and he I think he was raised in that comedy where if you're gonna get hurt about something, you just need to walk away. It's like, if you don't like what I'm saying, I've got the mic, I've got the stage. Not much you can do about it. You can try to heckle me, but once again, I got the mic and the stage, so I'll destroy you. Just a little sidebar. I've had to do that before. Um, I've been heckled before, and usually sometimes you just let it go. Depends on the heckler and what they're trying to do. A lot of times heckling is just people trying to finish your joke, which is, honestly, it's almost the worst type of heckling. I'd rather have someone just say you suck or curse at me than try to finish my joke and step on it, because then, like, yeah, nice try at my punchline. Well, the actual punchline is this, and then the joke is ruined. I mean, it depends on, like I said, depends on the setting. A lot of times when people are joining in, like last week when I was in Elbert, there was a lady that kept shouting out stuff, but it was working. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And she was just rolling along and making comments. She wasn't really stepping on jokes, and she wasn't being mean. She would just scream out stuff sometimes, but it was fun. We had a great time. Anyway, back to Chappelle. I was a big fan of his show, and one of my favorite uh, sketches in his show, and his most infamous sketches, is he plays a black blind Klansman. Clayton Brixby, I think the name, or Clayton Bixby, something like that. And it's hilarious because he doesn't know he's black. So it's just him going on about niggers this and black folks that, and he's very country. And it ends up that none of his friends, even his wife, have told him that he's black. And it's hilarious. And they do it like documentary style. It's a pretty long sketch. I think it's 9 minutes. And they do a documentary style. We came down to talk to Clayton Bixby. Of course, they don't let him in on it either. I forgot how he finds out. I think oh yeah, he goes to a big Klan rally, like it's in like a little, it almost looks like a tiny little council building you'd find in a tiny little town. Maybe 40 people can fit in there. And he's going on about white power, and he's got his hood on. And then all of a sudden he kind of loses it at the end. He's like, yeah, and he rips it off, and everyone just freaks out. And they even show like a dude's head exploding. Of course, very comically done, but it's really funny. It's a great sketch, and it's the kind of stuff that's typical of Chappelle. A lot of people remember he made fun of Rick James a lot. He made fun of Prince a lot. He makes fun of the individual, and he makes fun of the human condition, I think, and I think that's where his brilliance lies. If you can do jokes that can exclude and include at the same time, I think that's amazing. It's a skill I don't have. I think there are a few I can do, like you guys saw my crayon joke where it's an exclusionary joke, but it also includes everyone because it's like we're all flawed, right? We all, I'm gonna take this color for this group of people and go with stereotypes about those people. But I'm gonna just go, oh yeah, you know what? These people have issues too, and then it finally falls in on the white people, and even me myself, where I call myself off white. I'm talking about that, all the flaws Italians have. You could make it work. Now, like I say, I would never put myself on the level of a craftsman that Dave Chappelle is, but he worked that craft for a good 70 minutes in the special called The Closer, and it kind of, I don't know. I think it's hard, especially for more exclusive groups or excluded groups like transgender and the LGBTQ community, to maybe put that to the side. That is the difficult part for Logan and I. We're going to disagree on this. It's just that simple. Logan's a wonderful person, and I support Logan no matter what. And obviously, I have no problem with any transgender people or any gay people. But that's where the line separates between me and Logan is like, well, he said all these things about us, and I said, yeah, he did it in a comedy show, okay, but I get it. I mean, actually, watching that show, it's a pretty mixed group of people in the audience, and they kept showing them, white people, black people, people that appeared to have whatever you want to call it. Alternative sexual and gender lifestyles, I guess is the best way to put it. And you could see those people sometimes when they'd show from the back and show the audience, and while he was talking about transgender and gay people, that they were hurt or they were upset, whatever it was. I mean, people just like not laughing at this. One woman that stood out in particular that had a lot of makeup on, heavy, obese, I would say. She was large, and she just looked almost like she was going to cry, and that hurt me, and that made me feel bad for how Logan feels about this stuff. But I also don't think Dave Chappelle would ever take somebody individually and try to hurt them. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can say that it depends on how you interpret it. But like he also put forth he even said, is it possible? He just said, is it possible? He said, is it possible that gay people can be racist? Absolutely, I do an entire joke myself about that. It's been a while since I've done it, but I want to try it again. Where and it came from a real place, and I think I've mentioned it before. Where my friend Troy and I were working with a mutual friend. His name's Mike. I never really liked him because not so much that he was gay, but he was just a rich kid, And to be fair to Mike, he was closeted. He had to be. He grew up in Evergreen. How gay can you be in 1980s Evergreen? Probably not very, or at least, I mean, he's not like a typical gay guy. He's like a investment trader, and he dresses conservatively, and then, he goes to gay bars and does some of the gay stuff, but he's also a conservative gay person, which is weird to me. And he also is racist. I've seen it happen. And, so I do a joke about that, but I also, Dave Chappelle did jokes about that. Like I said, way out. This is me doing a joke about gay people or trans people. This is Dave Chappelle doing a joke about gay people or trans people. So he did that stuff too. And like I said, along comes the social commentary with it, which I think is a big deal. Comics were kind of here, at least in my opinion, to sort of kind of report on the craziness of the day, right? We come to find the insanity of living in the year 2021 or 2017 or 2010 or whenever these guys are doing comedy, and say, yeah, this world's crazy, and I'm going to make you see it, and I'm going to make you laugh about it. And I think Dave Chappelle succeeded in that. And he also had a really heartfelt bit at the end about a transgender woman that he worked with on stage that ended up killing herself, and That was also controversial. But a lot. I thought it was a good special overall. I suggest seeing it, especially you, Jennifer. I think you'd like it. But it is. There's a lot to it. It's layered. It's often heartrending, but it's also a lot of hilarity. So there you go, guys. There's my opinion. I know I threw a lot of what I'm about in there, but that's what an opinion is. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.